All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending today's class. Today we are going to be doing a live test training on a 2022 French door bottom mount GE. In today's standard, this is pretty on par with the curve. It's not too far behind, and it's not the latest cutting edge refrigeration system that's out there. So this is a fair gauge for me to ask some questions and to get a test on where we are at as a community, as a group. So let's go ahead now and pull up my notes, and let's talk about the first subject matter, which is installation. I'll begin by asking question number one when it comes to no, that's not the first question. Let's just talk about installation real quick. This isn't necessarily a quiz test question. This is just a general question. Installation, what's the importance of clearance, cabinet clearance? You know, you get a fridge, you see numbers on the sticker, you'll see top clearance and some numbers. You'll see something that says side clearance and some numbers. What do those numbers mean? And what's the importance of that clearance? What's that all about?
I'll answer if no one else is going to. A, number one, if the appliance is going to fit, that's more basic. And B, number two, if the appliance can operate effectively, like based on its environmental needs. Yeah, you can't shove a dryer into a closet if it doesn't have a lot of room for airflow, that type of thing. So clearance, both usability and operative.
Good answer there, sir, and I appreciate your participation. So with that out the way, let's jump right into installation there real quick, okay? All right, let's talk about clearance, right? I wanted to talk about clearance, and the importance is, guys, you want air circulation. You want proper air circulation. You want proper room for plumbing. You got a valve back there, and we're gonna get into on over here when I talk about this subject matter, water systems. There's a valve back there. There's hoses. You want clearance on the top side, and you also want clearance on the back and the sides. Okay. So any questions about clearance, and now that we're clear of its importance, all right. What else are we going to talk about here? All right, let's get a little bit into the specifications. Brother Peter mentioned that. Guys, this refrigerator, this unit has certain specifications that have to be met in order for it to operate properly. You can't put a box into incorrect conditions and expect a certain output. You have to put it into the required specifications that the manufacturer wants. So let's talk about those, and let's be professionals and understand fully the product that we working on. So let's start with our electrical specifications there. Obviously, you keep seeing 120 VAC, 120 VAC, 120 VAC. This refrigerator, ladies and gentlemen, is ran on a 120 volts. Okay, most of you gentlemen should know what a receptacle looks like. And does everybody see that screen there of that receptacle?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start with question number one here, right? Before I ask this question, We're talking about receptacles, household receptacles. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing this a long time. I've went into RV homes. I've seen dudes run an extension cord from one house to another house around the garbage from to one fridge. I've seen it all. But what do you need? And as a professional, how do we test a receptacle? I'm going to show you guys an image. And here's the scenario that you have to have in your head. You have your voltmeter out, and you put your voltmeter on 100 on VAC. You put your voltmeter on VAC, right? And you know you got red and you got black, right? Two leads in your hand. Now, here comes question number one. To test this outlet, how many volts should I have between hot and neutral? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
110.
The correct answer is 120, but I'll take 110. Yes, sir. Good answer. All right. Now, the next question is test question number 2. You got neutral to ground. How many volts are you supposed to have?
0.
Good job, whoever said that. Number 3, hot to ground. How many are we supposed to have?
120.
Great. Now, if you look at this receptacle here, you see this little box here where my mouse is hovering over? Does anybody want to take, this isn't a test question, I won't grade you for this, but anybody want to take a guess what this is?
Reset button.
One of them GFCIs. Now, I want to talk about that real quick in the electrical here. Something that I ran across here that I want you guys to where was it that it said never use, never, okay, here we go. All right. Note, a GFI is not recommended, or GFCI, ground fault circuit interrupter, is not recommended. They don't necessarily list why here, but the reason that it's not recommended based on, I don't know if it was this manufacturer or just any other manufacturer, you just don't want nuanced trips. Any small little nuance will trip the circuit breaker. Now you got to pull the fridge out, so they don't really recommend that. But it is required to be plugged into a grounded 3-prong outlet. Okay, and use of a 2-prong adapter cord is prohibited. You'll sometimes see like where you can have 3. A receptacle it'll have a female to hook up 3, but then the outlet, the male, where you plug it into the wall, will only have 2. You can't do that on this guy. It needs 3 prongs. All right, so that's kind of important. Just wanted to talk about that. Does somebody have a question?
Yeah, Brandon, I think that I read somewhere that code might be have changed with that or something in terms of because a lot of times with refrigerators, they're right near water lines, and a lot of times I think that I'm not an electrician, but it's read somewhere, and people are ripping their hair out over this, that new builds are putting GFCIs in where the refrigerator goes. So there's that. But you're just an observation, because there's water typically. I think isn't a code or something like that. You have to have a GFCI where there's water near it. That's why in the kitchen you have all the GFCIs around the sink and that type of thing. Not sure.
I don't doubt you, brother. But it hasn't come across my desk. So until I see it, or you could render something to me to show me, I don't have nothing to say about that because I'll be ignorant. I don't know. But what I can say is what we got here in front of us, and let's continue with now leveling. Okay. Why do I even take time out of a Saturday to speak about leveling? Leveling is kind of important, guys. Sometimes you'll get a bogus call where the customer will complain that their refrigerator doors don't necessarily close. Sometimes they're not supposed to, based on the manufacturer. Although this is a GE manufacturer text that we're using, I'd like to keep it open to most of this stuff applies to any brand that you're working on. But there are some brands that the doors don't close on their own, or they do, but they need assistance. And with that, the best thing I could tell people is to elevate the two front legs. And what will happen is if you elevate the two front legs, what will happen is you'll have somewhat like a little bit of a incline in there, and the weight of the doors will kind of close back on themselves. So if you ever had like get complaints of that, I always recommend elevating the leveling legs in the rear, in the front, the two in the front. Leave the ones in the rear or like bring them as low as you can, and then the ones in the front raise them as high as you can, and then you'll have this effect, and then the doors will kind of just slam back on their own. So I just wanted to share that tidbit with you. All right. And here's the top ones. You may get instances sometimes, guys, that the bottom of these doors they make contact with the frame itself, and you kind of get like a little bit of chafing there and a little bit of rubbing. I suggest just taking the door off, going to Home Depot, getting some spacers, and throwing them in this area right around here, and actually elevating the door itself enough to where it can kind of get past this area here where my mouse is on the door. You'll have sometimes where the door itself makes contact with that and makes a little bit of friction. Just throw a spacer in there. You'll be all right. I'll skip the operating instructions because I like to keep this training universal, not exclusive to just GE. I want this to be universal across the board. But question number 3, demo mode. Can anybody tell me what demo mode is, please? Demo mode. What's demo mode? All right, going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Demo mode is very simple. You ever go inside a Lowe's and you go inside a Home Depot and you see those beautiful refrigerators? When you open them up, they light up. Everything you see them, oh wow, oh it looks beautiful. You open the freezer door, you see the LEDs illuminate, all that's cool. But they're not cooling. They're not cooling. They may exterior look like they're functioning, but none of the fans nor the compressor is operating. They refer to that as demo mode. There are times in multiple times in my tenure, I don't have enough fingers to count on my hand of calls that I've received where a fridge is on demo mode. I can't tell you how it got into demo mode, but I could tell you to always make sure before you begin an operation, make sure that the refrigerator is not on demo mode. And learn how to identify what demo mode looks like on the refrigerator. So with that out the way, let's refer back to our slide here. Okay, so in our case here with this GE, it will show and blink 88. Okay? And just to harp back on what I was saying, again, demo mode deactivates compressor, fans, and defrost heater. All right? Now, we get there, we're going to charge our service call, but in our case, we're going to hit door alarm, freezer, and fridge for 5 seconds to what? To exit demo mode. I can't tell you I pretty much could bet the house on it that there were instances out there that technicians went out there and were unaware that demo mode was even a thing, and they got there. Oh man, this compressor's not working. Oh, the fan. Oh, it's the board. Got to be the board. And they were probably right. They probably changed the board, and the new board worked because the new board's algorithm wasn't in demo mode. But had they recognized that demo mode was a thing, they just would have had to simply exit out of the demo mode, and then that would have just earned them a simple service fee, and you would have brought the customer's price down and everything. So I know customers don't watch my show, or this channel, but if they do, customers read the book, myself included. All right. Now, Sabbath mode. This is our third question here. What's Sabbath mode? Oh, I spelled that wrong. Sorry, guys. I was kind of flying through this before what is Sabbath mode? Give you guys 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Isn't it a mode where you're not doing, can't do like any work or something? It's weak. I don't. I'm going to say it's, yeah, I know it's religious, but it's something where you can't do work. In the Sabbath, they can't do any work, right? So it's something related to that.
I'm speaking based off of my understanding of their religious belief system, where I believe they cannot have interactions with the fridge. But GE does a wonderful job explaining it a little bit better than me, and let's allow them to articulate this better. Sabbath mode is designed to eliminate changes in operation of the refrigerator due to human interactions. So you open the door, you can't, change the temperatures. You can't, use the dispenser. You really can't have any interactions with the refrigerator. Opening up the door wouldn't be considered an interaction. The appliance will operate normally, okay, but it won't respond to consumer actions. Uh, it's gonna run. It's gonna run. Oh, the lights won't turn on. I forgot to tell you, the lights won't turn on. Um, and the chimes will also be deactivated. Um, Door alarms will be disabled. Okay, so again, if you get to a unit and the unit is on Sabbath mode and it's not responding to any of your commands, and you want to take it out of Sabbath mode, you have to refer to your unit's user guide. But in our case, you would hit door alarm and filter status until the SA goes blank. All right, and then you will repeat the process to turn it on and off. So it's a door alarm and filter status. All right. All right, we're gonna get into our next question here.
Good question, Braden.
Yes, sir. Please.
Have you ever seen? I know that you said you ran across units that have done this. Have you ever seen? Can you explain some of that? Like, why would it be? Have you ever seen Sabbath mode come on by itself? I'm sure.
Hell yeah, not by itself. But what about the guy or gal that don't know what he's doing, and oh, my fridge is too cold, and oh, let me press this, and no, and he's doing the chop chop chop, and before you know it, he done pressed something and put the unit in Sabbath mode.
Yeah. Okay.
Like myself, for instance, I'm American, USA all day, but I'm of the century of Jamaican and Cuban descent. Rastafarian culture. I'm really not familiar with what a Sabbath mode is, so I may even do that and be like, what is this? So People may do it by themselves. Maybe the computer did it. Maybe the board randomly kicked it into Sabbath. Lord knows. I really don't know why it got there. But we know how to take it out of Sabbath mode and help the customer. What if we have members of a particular faith group that want to learn how to utilize their Sabbath mode? Us as the professionals need to learn it and show them. All right, let's move a little forward here. Okay, we're talking airflow. Here's our next question. What's the difference between single evap system and dual evap systems? What's the difference with them when it comes to airflow? We're talking airflow. What are single and evap differences?
The cooling system and the freezer both have independent cooling systems or something like that.
That's correct. Whoever said that. And allow me to elaborate on it. When you have a single evaporator, what will happen is your evaporator's over here, this rectangular square with this X. Does everybody see that? Let me see if they allow me to draw. Ooh, I think they do. Hold on. Yes, they do. All right, cool. Here's my evap. Y'all see this right here? That's my evap, right? Those are my coils, right? Now, my fan is going to be over here. You see my fan right here?
Mhm.
So what's going to happen is it's going to begin to blow this air, right, over our products. Look what it does here. It enters through our damper, right? Our damper travels through that tower. Oh, I lost my marker. It's going to complete this guy and kind of do this song and dance indefinitely. So you got air coming in through this. You got air coming in through here. And then you got air coming back through here. You guys see that?
Mhm.
Quick airflow subject matter. Now let's look at a dual, because somebody did a great job at saying that. So when you're dealing with dual evaporator, well, I showed you French door bottom mount. This is what dual evaporator would look like on side by side. Your dark blue would show you your airflow in your freezer compartment. Your light blue would show you your airflow in your fresh food. Single evaporator system, here you go right here. Pretty straightforward, right? Pretty straightforward, right? All right, let's get back to our test. Okay. All right, now question number 4. Temp control board is bad, and how do you diagnose it? All right, this is a little bit of a test here to see who's paying attention. We're gonna skip water systems for 1 second. All right, let's look at the top here of the box, and let's see what we got going on. We got a couple things. Mullion door, left FF door switch, temperature control board, humidity sensor, ambient sensor, thermistor, harness, all these different things going on here at the top. I wanna talk about a few of them, not all of them, because not every unit has their setup like this. But I do want to talk about this guy here, the temperature control board. I want to talk about that guy there. right? That's over here. This is where you select, your temperature. This is where you do all of your settings and so forth. This is a test. This is the scenario. You get a call, and the customer's complaint is, hey, my unit works, but I can't change the settings. I can't, you know, turn the ice on and off. I don't really have any control. How would I can you help me with that? As a technician, what would be your approach to that? How would you guys go about that? I'm not saying all, but I know some guys that would just replace both boards. They will replace that board, they will replace the computer. I know some guys that would change the door gaskets. I know some guys that would change the ice maker. I know all type of guys, man. But what's the proper way to go about that? I give you guys 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's talk about it. First thing we want to do, guys, when it comes to that is our
Hey, Brandon, got a question.
right here.
What was the question again?
How do we test it?
How do
The
you test it?
scenario, the scenario is it failed. How do we test it? Well, how will we go about that?
Testing the control
Well,
port.
coming up here, looking at the image,
Mm.
right? It's a little pixelated, and I ask for your forgiveness. But if you notice here in this area, right, that's kind of where the oh man, what's going on here? 1 second, y'all.
Press escape.
Yeah, you see this? Like what I did green here?
Mm-hmm.
That's like my ribbon. That's my electrical ribbon that's firing up that board. That board is receiving power right about here where this plug is, right? Now, at that plug, there's some tests that could be done, okay? From J2, pin 8, red and silver, to J4, pin 1, you're going to get about 14 volts VDC. Remember, guys, these settings on the washer, on the dryer, on the stove, a lot of them are DC and they're low voltage, 7 to 12 volts. So definitely we would want to make sure that we're receiving voltage to the temperature control board. Okay, we want to make sure that we're getting the right voltage, and the right voltage is 13.6 VDC. Now, what if I get 13? That's good. What if I get 13.9? That's good. If I get like 4 or 3 or 1, yeah, I'm probably not gonna like that. But now, what supplies voltage to this temperature control board under most circumstances? What provides not what provides voltage?
Transformer.
I respect your answer. I'm not necessarily gonna agree with it, but I'll accept it. Anybody want to give it another whack while I pull up the schematics?
The control board?
There you go. And let's see if Brother B knows what he's saying. Okay, so as represented here in this big block, y'all see that line I'm doing? You
Yeah.
see it? Okay, that's your main control board. All right. So let me take that off. All right. So let's look for now our temperature control board. You guys see it over here?
Hmm?
Yeah.
All right. Now I need a little help here, okay? I need a little help here. I need somebody to help. Well, I can write it down myself. Never mind. You guys should be writing this down. There's three things that I want you to write down. I want you to write down J4. I want you to write down. Why won't it let me draw? Hold on, y'all.
So you want the J4-1.
Yep, I want that one. Damn, that's too thick, of course. Hold on.
And do you want the J43?
Yeah, because we're gonna go back and verify this. It's one thing to do it here. Man, it's too. Man. All right, y'all. Look. Oh, I'll do it next to it. I want y'all to do this one here, J4-1. I'm writing it down myself. I want y'all to do J4-2. I'm writing it down myself. And that's what 13.6 VDC. What's VDC? Volts direct current. And then we go in common.
Common. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh no, another one we gotta do too. This one is very important. J4, one of the most important ones. J4-4, which is 13.6 DC. All right. So we got two 13 point. These are the ones I really want to look at here. All right, so let's look here for our temperature control board, right? This guy over here. All right, what's going on here? All right, so we got okay. Let me try to narrow the. Then we got this guy. Wait. I did something wrong. Hold on. I got messed up.
Yeah, that one's not connecting.
Yep. It jumps.
Yeah.
When you see that, it jumps the wire. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that again. My bad. All right, it's gonna go. It's not letting me draw. Sorry.
That one's going to the evaporator fan.
I'm sorry, brother. I'm trying to draw here. Let's try this again. Oh, come on. I swear, when you relying on technology. Oh, all right. Well, can y'all see my mouse at least?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So it jumps over that smart trolley wire. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Jumps over this wire. Jumps over that guy.
It goes to the
Continues down.
evaporator.
Jumps over. Whoop. Continues over. Whoop again. Jumps that guy. Whoop again. And then it comes down. And actually, that color is red, yellow.
Yellow.
Down. And then it goes to your FZ freezer top LED. So that one really don't concern me. I'm not gonna lie. So let's go ahead and remove this one. I apologize. I'm subject to human error, which is a lot. All right, let's remove this guy right here. We don't need him. The ones that we do need, though, would be this three here. I need to know where this guy comes from.
And that's the J43.
I need to know where this guy comes from. Now, this one goes through it, not under it. That's called the node. It jumps. So this one, I want to know this one here, J2-2. Let's write that down. That's going to be important. J2-2. All right, and then finally, I want to know this guy, common.
And that's the common.
It's gonna do this, which is J4-1. So those are my three that I really need to know. So I made a few human errors here. So these are the three that I really need to spend my attention on, all right? Because the original question was, where does this receive its voltage from? And I said the computer. Some other gentleman said a capacitor, or no, a transformer. But no, it comes from the board. And these are my three connectors that I want to concern myself with: J41, J43, and J2-2. Does everybody on the same page with me?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now let's go back up to that. Let's go back up to that page where we were looking at that temp control board. Because that was the scenario. What happens if it goes bad? How do we test it? Okay, here we go.
You put your leads on the pins, the actual pins, and see if you have power coming in, the actual correct voltage.
Yeah, you at these connectors over here where
Mm.
they plug in. But I'm trying to find our guy, which is the not humidity, not the door hand. There it goes. There we go. Okay, what are we writing in our notes, guys? We wrote J2. Okay, so what they're saying is the main board connectors, J2 pin 8. Is that in our notes? I don't see that.
No, we have the J pin 1 and 3. Those are just connected to the other board, I guess. The one
Okay.
where you have your mouse at.
Yeah. They
JP
let's
J4
write it. Let's see what. Okay. What do we say? We said J4.
pin 1,
Yep.
J4 pin 3,
Wait, hold on. J4 pin 3, and what was the
Yeah,
third?
and then J2
and
pin.
J2 2.
J2-2. All right. Now let's see what they're saying. They're saying J2-8. They're saying J4-1, and they're saying J4-3. You guys see that?
Yep.
All right, now let's correlate and let's see what was going on there. Maybe there was some human errors on my side. Let's see what happened.
I think they're talking about the quick release connect, because you see those little arrows pointing.
Ah, you're right. And then when they come over here, they change colors.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're right. Well, let's see what they said though. They said J2-8. Okay, let's go down here. Actually, that would work, and you know why? Because it's a node. Remember when I said it was a node? A node
Yeah.
just means it could go this way, but guess where else it could go?
Yeah.
It could also
Go
go,
down.
and guess what? Over this wire and down, and then remember electricity, path of least resistance, bang, bang. So in theory, we would. They're right. I'm not gonna dispute them, but in
Yeah.
a way, guys, we kind of were right too. We would get the same measurement at either side. But for the test purposes, I like to rely on GE, not ME. So let's go the way they suggest. All right. Does everybody understand that argument?
Yep.
Okay. They also said J41. Let's see what all that's about. We said that though.
Just up to the top. Yeah.
Yeah, we said J41, and then they said J43. We said that too.
Yep.
So in theory, the only thing we kind of deviated from was over here at this node where we went red silver back to the J22. But guys, I couldn't assure you that you would have got 13.6 there as well. All right.
I
So
got
there
a
you
question,
go.
Brady.
That was a little test scenario, and just looking at the board and familiarizing yourself, let's learn how to identify this whole let's look at this J4 cluster here, right? How many pins do we have? One, two, three, four, five. Everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now let's look up here. Let's look for J4. Where you at, J4? J9, J10, J17, J4, right over here. Everyone see that? Now, how do we identify what's J4 1? How do we identify what's J4 2? How do we identify what's J4 3?
It
Up to
should be
J4
it
5.
should be a little one by one of the pins, the outer pins,
Or the
to
arrow.
let you know, or that arrow.
That's correct. Whoever said that, I will take that. I will take both of those answers. On Whirlpool, yes, you're right. You will see that one, and it will be right here, represented by the number one
Mm.
connector. Over here, you would see it represented by the number one connector. Over here, you would see it represented by the number two connector. I'm sorry, by the number one. Right here, same thing, number one. But in our case, GE doesn't use that. What they use is,
Little arrow.
and now if you look very carefully behind this arrow, and this is the arrow of the training PDF. But if that arrow was not there, you would see right behind it a little J4 right there.
Mhm.
And then I know it's very, very pixelated, but trust you me, there's a little arrow right there. Okay, and that's how we would identify our markings: J4 1, J4 2, and so forth. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, this training may bleed in a little bit past the hour mark. If you have to exit, go ahead. But I did a lot of notes, man, and I'm not even halfway through. All right, let's get back to our test here. Okay,
I got a question, Brandon.
yes, sir.
So when you're testing that, okay, you want to hook in the connector and testing those pins. Is that what you're doing? The process and putting it on J, identifying the pin and that's it.
Look, what I would do, remember, brother, when I do my work, there's no one way to skin a cat, even though you shouldn't skin cats. But I'm thinking like this, bro. I don't want no liability on these people's floor. I don't know if I want to necessarily pull it out. I don't know if I want to scratch up the floor just to remove the computer cover just to get back there. It may be easier for me to look at this schematic, say coming out of these connectors, red, yellow, blah, 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 whatever pins we had agreed to, I should be getting 13.6. At the top, it'd probably be easier for me to just take them little the screws out, take the panel off, and not mess the floor up. I probably would measure voltage up at the top of the where the connector plugs. And if I was getting voltage and it's not lighting, then I would rule out that board. I also would definitely suggest everyone buying a DC voltage generator. Yeah, I'll show you what it looks like. It's a small little device, and what it does is you can select how many voltages DC you want to output, and it will do it for you. And you can mimic what the board DC should regulate. So you get you one of these right here for about 25 bucks. Nah, we professionals. We past that. If you gonna spend good. Get you about $50. Know what I mean? That's what the service call is for. And get you one of these guys here. You know what I'm saying? And then you can hook it up. You can generate your own 13.6 right out of this machine here. And then you can test the cables yourself, and the LED should light up. You know what I'm saying? So we rule out that it's the board. Now, if I'm not getting voltage, the next step then would be I will have to pull the fridge out. Then I will have to remove the cover. And I will have to measure at the board those connectors. At the board, I would measure the J28, J41, those would be my measurements at the board. Now, I got a test question for you guys. What if you are getting the voltage, but the light is not lighting up? Well, in that case, you will have to go back up to the connector, right? And make sure that you're getting those voltages. If you're not, you may have an internal problem with the harness. Let me elaborate on what I mean.
So you're getting voltage,
Let's
but it's
say
not
no,
getting to the board. So it has to
right.
be a problem between the
I
from
just
what
don't
the
want
power. Hmm?
I just I just want to rule out what all of the three culprits could be. And maybe I'm
Mm.
explaining and maybe I didn't explain that right. So I'd like to show you a demonstration.
So the harness plugging into the board might be.
Exactly, exactly. And
Mm.
how do we get around that? I'm going to show you now. So, guys, we only got three culprits. Culprit one is your wires, represented in red. If one of them is open, that's it. And
Hmm.
I had that happen to me. And I have pictures that I'll share with y'all and how I had to cut a hole through the fridge and run the wire through the back to do it. And I'll show you pictures of how I did that. Culprit two is your temperature control board. But you see, we can rule that out by, again, providing 13.6 to it directly, or if the board is failing to do so, then, that brings us to our third culprit, which is the main board itself. If this main board here isn't putting out that proper voltage, then that's it's one of those three. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're getting voltage from the board, you're getting voltage at the connector, that tells me two things. My harness is good, my board is good.
Yeah,
If I if I'm getting no voltage
yeah,
at the harness and I'm getting no voltage at the board, my board is bad. And then finally, if I'm getting voltage, then my temp control is bad. You know what I mean? I pretty and if you want to verify that continuity wise, you simply would just take one of your leads and come here, and then you would take the other lead and you would come here, and your voltmeter should give you continuity through this wire. So there's only three things that could really mess that up. Am I making myself clear?
Yeah.
All right, let's clear all this crap up. Any questions so far?
Nope.
All right. Number 5. What is a temp chart? What is temperature? What is the PT? What is the temperature? Temperature thermistor chart, gentlemen. What is a temperature thermistor chart? 5.
Is that the mister is what basically regulates, sends the proper, well, it communicates with the board to keep the proper temperature inside the refrigerator.
it's yep, and the thermistor is a material that, based on its temperature, is going to put out a specific resistance. So the board reads the resistance value and infers the temperature, and they can drift. So, right?
Okay, gentlemen, great answers. What y'all see in here, gentlemen? Can everybody see this particular box over here? This everybody see this?
Mhm.
Yes.
Everybody see that over there? Thermistor values. You guys see that? That means, guys, that if your thermistor is working properly, if the temperature is 13 degrees in Fahrenheit, it should be 65 kilo ohms, 65,000. Everybody with me?
Yep.
If the temperature is 5 degrees, it should read
36.4 thousand.
36.4 thousand kilo ohms. Everybody with me?
Yep.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna give you guys two examples, okay? And I want you guys to tell me the answer. Okay, so example 1, if we were using this thermistor chart instead, which is the same one, but it doesn't have all my drawings on it. At 50 degrees, how many kilo ohms should we have resistance?
10,000.
Good job. And listen, let me not stray. I hope everybody's writing down their scores. If you don't know, this is a moment to take a break. If you don't know what I'm saying, if you like completely lost, if you completely, no worries. This is just a wake-up call to show you, you know, where you at. And to the guys that are chugging along and firing in all cylinders, pat yourself on the back. You're doing good. We're professionals. This is how troubleshooting is done. But this was the purpose of today's class: is to purposely test you. When you look in the mirror and have that conversation with the mirror on where you stand with this subject matter. Again, some people charge at 125 to go into the homes, and they can't even properly test the receptacle. All right, so with that said, let's keep the test alive. All right. Number 8. Somebody tell me what the fresh food thermistor is. What is the purpose of the fresh food thermistor?
That's the thermistor that it sends the board the correct temperature. Well, it tries to regulate the correct temperature in the fresh food section.
I'll take that. Ah, sorry. Can somebody read that for me, please? Can I get a volunteer? The yellow.
The main control board uses one thermistor to maintain the proper temperature in the refrigerator.
And that, my friend, is your FF thermistor. Okay? Now, looking at this diagram here, this schematic, here's my next question. How many thermistors does this unit have based on this schematic?
Oh, wow. 4, huh? 4. Interesting.
Okay. Now, we spoke on what the FF thermistor is. Can I get a volunteer on what the ambient thermistor is?
Is that the thermistor that is for the outside area, the room temperature?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Mhm.
What's the next one?
Freezer thermistor.
That's the temperature in the freezer.
What's the next one?
Evaporated thermistor.
That's the temperature of the evap.
Yep.
Coils.
Okay, you guys are all correct. Just give me 1 second to put a silencer on my phone. Okay. Apologies, gentlemen.
Now,
Yes,
question for you, Mr. Brown.
please.
With that evaporated thermistor, that's basically a thermistor that's dealing with the liquid changing back to a gas with the proper temperature.
It has to regulate the defrost, and let's speak about it. We're gonna go into the location and the purpose of all 4. Okay, so we spoke about the fresh food. Let's go to the ambient. That was up here in the top. You see it? Right there. All right. That's gonna tell the board the outside temp of the box. You guys with me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Now let's get to the next one.
But Brandon, for what though?
Oh, that tells the condenser fan how the RPMs. It helps with the condenser fan RPMs. If it's high,
Yeah, with
Oh,
the heat. Yep.
condenser fan run really fast.
oh, okay.
If
Thank
it's
you.
a cool, if it's not too high, you might get the condenser run at a lower speed.
So your thing, so ambient thermistors are on DC, are more DC
Yes,
for DC condenser setups and that type of condenser fan setups.
yes.
Interesting. Thank you. So the old school ones didn't have that, right?
No.
Thank you.
I'm looking for the, what did we say? Ambient, we said evap.
Mhm. Now, the reason I was asking you about the evap uh, the mister is because I was thinking about the whole process of the liquid changing to a gas with the evaporator, and that temperature change that the mister would have to actually feel that on the actual evaporator coil where it's changing.
Here we go. Okay. Our next subject line is evaporator thermistor. Now, and we're going to answer your question, sir. But
Mhm.
what is the line? What line is this, guys? What line is that called? What line is that? The copper line. What's the name of that line?
Suction line.
Oh, get this guy's diploma and go home. Get out of here. You know what you're doing. All right, these guys, you know exactly. Good job, my friend. Now, if you want to help me one more time, brother Leroy, please read this to me.
The evaporator thermistor is used to monitor the evaporator temperature and terminate defrost when the thermistor reaches 69 degrees.
So what are we saying?
Yeah.
Unit goes into defrost. Unit starts to get warm. 69. Oh, we're getting a little. Man, let's go ahead and kick these. That's what they said.
Mhm.
Let's read it again. The evaporator thermistor is used to monitor the evaporator temperature and to terminate defrost when the thermistor reaches 69 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I've seen it where the thermistor, and it's not included here, but based on countless manuals that I've read, I've seen where the evaporator thermistor is also used when to indicate when to enter into defrost mode based on how cold the refrigerator gets. It's not listed here, but to answer your question, Leroy, I don't believe that it has to do with the state of the gas that's inside of the suction line. I don't believe that it's monitoring if it's a superheat or a liquid or if it's in vapor. I don't. It's not doing that. What it's doing is it's just monitoring the temperature of the suction line to determine when and when not to go into defrost mode. And I hope I answered your question. All right, next question here. Oh, we did fresh food thermistor, we did evap thermistor, we did ambient thermistor, and obviously the last one is freezer thermistor, right? That's pretty simple, right? Guys?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Did I lose you guys?
I mean,
All right, cool. All right. All right. Now, guys, next question. Defrost theory. My question to you is this. This unit does not have a timer. This unit does it have a bimetal thermostat? Let's see. Let's see if it has a bimetal.
it wouldn't. That's what the thermistor's for, right?
Yeah, that's what no, because I don't want to say something. No, but I've seen in one circumstance a bimetal and a GE I've seen thermostats and bimetal, so hold on.
Interesting.
Okay, where's my okay, no, well they don't have bimetals, but what they do have, interestingly enough, are
Oh,
so again,
yeah.
the thermistor would definitely tell the board when and when not to, but those are my safety mechanisms.
Oh,
Okay, but here's my question. We're talking old school versus new school. My old school would have been what, a timer,
Yep.
bimetal,
mhm.
defrost heater. What kind of technology do you believe that this GE uses? And here are your selections: reactive, defrost technology, synchronous, defrost technology, or adaptive defrost technology. Which of those three do you think this GE uses? And most refrigerators nowadays.
I'd
Five,
say adaptive.
four. Good job.
Hmm.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job to all. Adaptive. But for those who said adaptive and you want a little bit more meat on the bones, I'd love to show you what I mean.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna need a volunteer reader here. Somebody read that for me.
Adaptive defrost is a defrost system that adjusts to a refrigerator's surrounding environment and household usage.
Great. Unlike conventional or the old school, they used to use electromechanical timers. It was 8 hours on,
Mhm.
30 minutes off. 8 hours on, 30 minutes off. What happened was now with the integration of control boards, they monitor the following: length of the time that the doors are open, length of the time that the compressor has run since the last defrost cycle, and the amount of defrost heaters that were on in the last cycles. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so this system has an adaptive defrost theory. Now, let's play a little game, and we're almost done with this test and with everything. But let's create a no defrost failure. Okay, here's the test. You get to the unit, it's not cooling properly. When you show up, you open up the freezer drawer, it's all caked up with frost in the back. What are some of the components that are in question here? What are we going to be looking at? I'm writing down the answers.
Thermistor.
I'll write that. Good
Like
job.
the defrost heater.
I'll write
A
that.
bimetal?
What else?
Bimetal?
There's no bimetal
Okay.
in this series here, in this circuit here that you got.
Okay, I got you.
What about the damper?
No,
No.
damper don't got nothing to do with that.
No.
Damper regulates airflow from one compartment to the other.
That's I was thinking that it was closed and the air wouldn't be able to go through.
That
And the
wouldn't
board. The
Yeah, the
board too.
board. Yep.
or okay. There's still two more that I
Thermal
see.
fuse?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the thermal
Oh,
fuse. Yeah.
one more. Come on, you guys got it.
Could be a wire.
My conductor, my wiring
Mhm.
harness, right? All right, so I got thermistor, heater, board, thermal fuse, and conductor. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 culprits that we need to look at. Let's go through all of them. How do we check our thermal fuse? Let's do that. There's a fuse. There's a harness up there, and that's not a fair question because you guys didn't see the harness. So I'll show you the harness. Where are you, evaporator? I'll show you guys the evaporator. Okay, here we go. Okay. So there's our thermal fuses. Everybody see that?
Oh, okay.
You guys see this right here?
Yes.
Okay. So we would measure over here at the connector. You know, there's a connector here that plugs in and out. We could have definitely checked there. Black on black, right, guys?
Yes.
Right here. You see this? Black on
Yeah.
black?
Yeah.
All right. What test would we do? Continuity, farads, voltage, ohms. What would we do?
Continuity.
I don't know.
Good job.
Yeah.
All right. So we ruled out conductor. Oh no, no, we ruled out thermal fuse. Okay. So now we still got to look at the thermistor. How do we check the thermistor? Here's our thermistor here, right?
That's when you got to check that chart.
So based on that chart, we get there, right? And let's say let's say that we take our infrared gun, we put our infrared gun back up in that area. Remember, it's a defrost failure. So we get in the temperature something about here, 41 degrees with our infrared gun and our pocket thermometer. What kind of ohms at the board should we be getting?
Is that the 12,700?
12,700. Excellent answer, Leroy. Great job, my brother. Now, I'm gonna ask, who was it that there was the smart Peter.
Yeah.
I got a challenging one for you now, Peter. All right, Peter. I got a good question for you. I want you to look at my schematic here and tell me exactly where I would do that at. It's a freezer, thermistor.
For the freezer thermistor to measure ohms, I am going to the J13 and either let's see here, 5 volts DC. Yeah, so it's got to get power. So I'm going from J13 to J15.
Good job. Good job. Now, if we disconnect this, right? If we disconnect this harness, meaning we unplug it from the board and we stick our voltmeter into J15 and we stick our voltmeter into J13, and we said that it was 41 degrees in there, how many volts, ohms should we get? Oh, you answered it. 47. Good job. All right. You guys, all right. So we did the thermistor. Now let's talk about the heater element. You guys mentioned that. Let's go back to the circuit. And where do we put our leads if we want to check our defrost heater?
Probably J93 and J91.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I barely see it. Yeah.
You can? I'm sorry. How
Yeah.
about now?
Yeah, perfect.
What is that thermal fuse open at?
77 degrees Celsius.
Is it resettable or non-resettable?
Is that non-resettable?
Yeah. Once it pops, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. So we ruled out heater, and now we have board and conductor. So board. How will we check our conductor? Where will we put our lead? We would disconnect the harness at the J9, and with the harness disconnected, we would go from 9 to 1, and we can trace that whole circuit, or we can go inside the box and leave one lead out of the box at J19, and we can go to pink. Then we can go black, wherever this connector is,
All the way back to the next
Black,
one.
and then we can go pink to black, then we can go black to black, then we can go blue to whatever this
To
color is here. You know what I'm saying? And we can trace backwards, but we can find it. So that's our conductor, and then finally the board. How would we check the board to see if the board works?
You put it into forced defrost.
Exactly. You would put the unit into forced defrost, which is the T, the Tango 11 test, okay? Which is to toggle defrost. Once you do that, there's gonna be a 20-second delay before the heater is turned on. Okay, so once that heater's turned on, guess where I'm running to? I'm running right to the back of that fridge, pulling out my voltmeter, and guess where I'm gonna test? At the J9-1 pin and at the J9-3 pin. All right, we're almost done with our test. Compressor freon lines. We'll give it 10 more minutes, guys, and if it don't run, I don't know, man, because we look at this subject matter. We still got to go a little bit through the refrigeration side, but we'll probably make a part 2. All right, so now let's talk about the next test, our compressor and our freon line and our copper line. What the hell are we looking at? This is what it looks like on pen and paper, refrigeration. This is what seal system looks like on paper, right? But what does it look like in real life? What does it look like in real life? Again, paper. But this is what it looks like in real life, guys. I'm going to show you now. This is what it looks like in real life. That don't look nothing like the stuff we just saw. But let's make sense of it all. Okay, we're talking this compressor here, this guy here. This big black hermetic part. See that right there? That's your compressor, right? But that's not what I'm quizzing you on. What I'm quizzing you on is this. What are these 3 lines coming out of the compressor? What's this guy here? Oh God, here we go with this again. What's that line called? And where's it going? This line here.
the suction line going to the condenser.
No, not
Which one is
suction.
that?
Not suction.
It's a
For the
discharge.
discharge.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry about that.
man,
I'm
that's
looking
right.
at the wrong thing.
It's okay.
Going to the condenser.
It's okay. And that one's going to my condenser, right? Now, what's this one here?
That's your suction.
And what is that one coming from?
That's coming from the evaporator.
Ah, good job. Good job. And then finally, young man, what's this one?
Service port.
That's the service port.
Ah, good job. And then what are these coils called?
I got a question to you.
What are these coils called?
That's a condenser.
Ah, good job, guys. All right, let's keep going. We're almost done with our test.
I got a question for you.
Yeah,
Is there service ports on both the high and low side or just one, typically?
it depends on the filter drive. If the filter drive comes with it or not. Let's look at an image here of ours and let's see if we got one or we don't. Here's my dryer.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I got, what's this line called? Where it's coming in from the dryer. What's that line called?
that's capillary cap tube.
Capillary.
No,
See.
No?
no. This
Or is
is
it the heat exchanger?
my capillary.
Oh, okay.
Okay. No, not heat exchanger neither.
Oh, it is a service port. That's interesting.
Now you're getting ahead of yourself, but this is the service port, brother, right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's my hot side. But I want to know what's this guy?
Yoder loop.
Ah,
Yoder.
that's my guy. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Now let's look at that. Let's look at that and what it looks like on draw.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, let's follow this out the compressor. Discharge.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Where's condenser? There we go. Okay, I can't see the discharge, but I'm gonna make one. Okay, let's just say here
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna go through these series of coils here, right?
Yeah.
Numerous times. Now, when it's time to exit, where's it gonna go? Through here. Ah, this is what they refer to as my hot gas loop.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna wrap around my freezer door. And now, when it's going back down here, you don't see it because we can't see behind the compressor, but that's where it's gonna go into my filter dryer. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, compressor, discharge. Man, I swear. Discharge, it goes through my condenser, my yoder, right? Then after it comes out of my yoder, where does it go? Where does it go?
Right.
Ah, and then to answer the original question, what's that?
Process stuff.
Ah, so you see, my purpose here is to translate this and have you be able to identify it in real life. Okay? And I showed you what that looks like. All right. Compressor free. Okay, condenser. What's the purpose of the condenser? Not what is it, where is it located? What's the purpose of it? What's its design? Why
Gets
did they
rid of the heat. Gets rid of heat.
dissipate the heat? Dissipate the heat. Okay. The importance of not having it full of lint, full of dog fur and stuff. Keep it clean. Hot gas loop. What's the purpose of it?
Is that the one that keeps the condensation from around the door?
Yeah.
Capillary. Where's the capillary at here? No, not this image. Well, I think I showed y'all already.
It's the little small skinny line going back up.
Right here.
Yeah.
Y'all see that?
Yeah.
Okay. PTCR relay. What the hell is that? What the hell is a PTCR relay?
That's like that start relay.
Okay. That, my friend. Come on, guys. Let's be a little bit more specific. I know we got better than that. Come on. Where we at? PTCR relay. Where's that at?
It's on the compressor.
Yep, I'm looking for it. Okay, hold on. PTC 71 or 72.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one that helps the compressor start.
Yeah, but there's three components in that, and we need to understand what all three of those components are. You have a relay, and you have a capacitor. I want to know what's with all three of them, and how does that mean? How do they all tie in? Okay, there we go. This component over here is what? What's that?
Overload.
So
And what else?
the relay,
And what's over here?
that's capacitor.
Now, do you guys know how to check those?
I think the capacitor you would use microfarads, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The relay is a continuity test, I would think, right? I don't know. It's a guess.
Okay, so how you would do is this
Stick it in
guy
the pole.
here, which is my relay, you would simply turn him around, and what you would do is perform like so. You would take one side, put it in one hole. You would take this side, put it in the other hole. You would bring your voltmeter, go to ohms,
So,
and then you should get zero. Should get
Yeah.
zero. Okay. Well, this one says 4.7 ohm, but typically I see zero. And then your overload is very simple to test. You just get your voltmeter. You put one lead on here where my mouse is dancing,
mm,
and then you put the other one over here on this silver where my mouse is dancing, and that'll check your overload. So again, overload, relay, and then capacitor. You just take farads on your voltmeter, and you measure the farads of the capacitor. But you have to look because all capacitors have different farads. You have to look at yours and see. And here, and I'm gonna test you guys. I'm gonna pull up a random capacitor online, and I want somebody to tell me what is the farads on this.
45 microfarads.
What's the tolerance that I'm allowed?
10%.
plus or
5%.
5%.
Interesting. Yeah.
Good job. Good job. Proud of you guys. All right, guys, we're down to three questions, and we call it a wrap. Dryer. What's my filter dryer do?
Takes out the impurities within the system.
Yeah. There's little balls in it.
Yeah.
Oil and little balls and
Important.
stuff. Yeah.
Maintain it. What it does is retain moisture in the system
Okay.
and remove any impurities out of the system. Okay, that's our filter dryer.
Okay.
Okay, 19. There's red paint on all this tubing here. What the hell is all that about? Let me pull up an image.
Flammable
Red paint.
red.
Red paint.
Oh.
Where's that about? What's all that red paint for?
R600?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, I guess right.
Yeah.
No, but that's what it is for. And
Mm-hmm.
that's not exclusive to GE.
Yeah.
That's all refrigeration.
Yeah.
Okay, all refrigeration, you always gonna paint red. Get ladies lipstick, right? No, it's true. You get ladies lipstick. Just
Fingernail
tell your
polish.
girlfriend before you buy, like, hey, look, I have to paint. I have to paint R600. So if she finds it in your car, don't ask me how I know, but just do that. Just red lipstick, put it on the thing, and that or red tape, red electrical tape. But you
Mm-hmm.
want to paint it red. All right. Where's what else is my test?
Yeah.
Almost done, guys. All right, number 20. Okay. Final question. How do we identify it on the compressor? What is the symbol or the legend that they use on the compressor that our system is flammable? What symbol would they use?
Pressure.
Flammable?
No, but it's kind of unique. It's a certain color and it's a certain shape.
It's got that triangle with the flame thing in it.
Ah,
The yellow one. Yeah.
yellow
Yeah.
triangle. That's what I was looking for, and you
Yeah.
knew it. Perhaps
Yeah.
I didn't. Perhaps I didn't word the question properly, but you knew it. You always want to look, guys. Sometimes these manufacturers don't go through the decency to put RC blah 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 blah. And then here comes bit silly Billy. Silly Billy, you know, he's been doing seal system 30 years. The hell he knows about R600. Those are 134A in there. You know, you look at your compressor, guys. Once you see that yellow and that triangle, you're dealing with an R600. All right, guys. So
Gotcha.
class today went about 1 hour and a half, which is a little bit longer than we typically do, but it was heartfelt to me in particular because I wanted you all to leave from here, whoever was watching this, to do some reflection on yourself. And you know, you attend these seminars and you know you attend these classes, but you have to, if you're going into the customers' homes, remember, guys, we are the professionals. We are the experts on the subject matter. Hence, our pricing is what justifies it. And if you want to sound good and feel confident in your repairs, continue to come to these Saturday classes. We appreciate it. And it's a good way to sharpen your game always.
Mhm.
All right, that's all I have, guys. Happy Saturday. Anybody got any final questions?
I do. Say super simple scenario. You come in, you want to check the system, you want to tap into the system, okay? Just to check it. You're using what? You're tapping in with a what? And then how do you close it, get back? What's the good way to close it back up? I don't do sealed systems. I was just curious.
Well, the
Okay.
first thing that you want to do is you want to go on over to Amazon and you want to buy a couple tools, like 2 or 3 tools. This is what you want to buy on Amazon. The first thing you want to buy on Amazon is what's called a pair of manifold gauges.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Mhm.
give you the budget entry uh toolkit
It's fine.
to keep it simple. All right, you buy these puppies here.
Mhm.
You see these puppies here? These
Yep.
are wonderful. Okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna put the blue line right here on right blue on the blue. You see that?
Yep.
Yellow's gonna go in the middle. Red's gonna go on the over here. All right,
Mhm.
and then just like so. See that? That's how your setup gotta be, but tight, very tight. You gotta tighten everything. And then once you have this set up, you know, this blue line is gonna have on the opposite end something that looks a little brass fitting as well. Does that make sense?
Okay.
You see, on one end of your fittings, you have uh brass fittings, and on the other you have the same. You see that?
Yep.
Okay. These that are facing left, those are gonna go here where the gauges go. But if you were to flip these gauges in the back right here, you see these three? This is
Mhm.
where you're gonna put your 45 degree, the backside hose holder. You're gonna put these hoses. You'll notice that they come one or two ways. Either they come straight or they come with 45 degree. Is it what is it 90? I don't remember what angle, but you're gonna put those the angled on the back and the straight side in the front. I don't know if I'm making sense. Let me show you another pair of gauges. Trust me, this will make sense here in 1 second. Okay, do you see this? My mouse. How over
Yep.
here the yellow is straight, but do you see on
Mhm.
this end here how the yellow has like a little bend on it?
Yep.
The bend go on the backside holder. The straight go here in the front. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, congratulations. You got your manifold degree. Now, the next thing you're gonna need is what's called subcoil bullet piercing
Piercing.
valves. You're gonna need one of these guys right here. Good old
Mhm.
reliable. gonna need one of these guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you're gonna determine if your system has 1/4, 5/16, or 3/8. That's typically the ones that they come in.
Okay.
They don't come no more than that. But based on that, you're gonna hook up this guy
Mm-hmm.
onto your compressor service port, which is located right. Where are you? Give me a second. I'm gonna show you a picture of the compressor here. Right here. You see
Yeah.
where it says A?
Mm-hmm.
That's where you're gonna put that bullet piercing
Yeah.
valve. Now, the center, the center of the bullet piercing valve is the last one that you want to tighten. You want to tighten all three, get it on the tubing. You want to make sure all three are tight. It has a nice tight form. You can't have any air, bro. It has to be tight, 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 hermetic, tight. And it's flammable. Tight, 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 tight. So then you've done all three. The final thing you want to do is get your get your yellow
Allen.
get your yellow hose, and you want to put your yellow hose onto no hold on. I'm having a brain fart. Blue. You want blue
Yeah, you're on the low
connected
side.
from there. You want blue connected to there, okay?
Okay.
Remember I said how it's gonna have a little 45. It's
Uh-huh.
gonna be on the top, the back side. You
Mm-hmm.
want to take the blue back off, and you want to put it on that subco valve,
Mm-hmm.
and then the center screw. You're gonna turn, and you're gonna pierce the tubing.
Okay.
And once you back that pierce, it's gonna allow all of the pressure to
Mm-hmm.
float to your blue gauge, and that will tell you where your system is running. On R600, it runs in a vacuum at about 14.7, somewhere around here. I'll show you here in 1 second. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. It's
That's
gonna
fine.
run right in that green,
Yeah.
right about where that 40. You see that 40 in
Yep.
green letters? Well,
Mm-hmm.
above it is it's a green bar, if you will, that says 10, 20, 30.
Yep.
You're gonna be at about 14 if it's running right.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
And that's how you can tap into your system.
Okay, Mike, here's the question. When all right, you're getting ready to leave. What's the recommended way to leave the system when you don't leave the pier? What do you do? Do you pinch off? What do you do?
Wonderful. Well, before I tell you what we do, let's look at where we at. We currently have our blue hose connected to our piercing valve. We
Mhm.
also have our valve completely open. So here's how we're going to close everything up. We're going to take our Allen key, and now we're going to close that center screw set pin all the way in, as far in as it will allow us. And then we're gonna just put our Allen key to the side. Then we're gonna take our hands and we're gonna take the blue hose off. You may get a small, nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
But you're gonna take the blue hose off, and the blue hose is gonna go again to the backside holder. And then you're gonna simply put your gauges to the side. But you're still not out the loop yet. The final step you're gonna do is these subcoats come with little silver caps. You're gonna put the little silver cap where you had your blue hose connected to close it off. And then the system is secured. Let me show you an illustration so that
That's fine.
you know more what I mean.
Yeah.
You see how you
Yeah, I
see
get it.
this silver cap?
Mhm.
Well, before that silver cap was there, your blue hose was there. But now that you removed your blue hose, you can't leave this exposed. You want to put that silver cap on. Does that make sense?
It does. And that's, but that, so the guy that's coming in behind you, so that would be, like, so that's the recommended way?
That's the only way. I mean, you can leave it
Okay.
without, but
Now,
you run the you run the risk of leak.
now, Brandon, also with that one, those pincher pliers that you
Yeah.
can pinch it off with, and then braise the once you pinch it off real good and break it off, you braise that in. You can do that also.
Yeah, but why would I want to brace a system that has one also?
I'm just asking.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, so you're just leaving the
What
bullet
I
down.
would do is what I would do is leave that bullet right on there like that, and you know what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't do sealed systems. I was just wondering, what the process was, and I always just couldn't not figure out, but like, the
I'm not,
end. What
I,
does the end look like?
I want to go on record here for liability and legal purposes. I will refer to the manufacturer. There's ways.
Right.
There's ways to do what Leroy is suggesting, but I would have to do a class and a demonstration
Yeah. Okay.
in which you can take a pair of cut-off pliers and you can pinch right before you did your your piercing valve.
Mhm.
And if that pinch is good enough, in theory, when you take your piercing valve off, nothing should come out of the hole that the piercing valve created. But if you didn't
You got a leak.
pinch it good, now you're gonna get a sound. There's a way to check that. You put your blue hose on and you make sure it's closed, and it should be in about 14.7, 14 negative, and then after that, when you do your pinching and all that, take the blue hose off. It'll bounce back to 0, so that it ain't got no pressure on it, and then put it back on the bullet piercing valve. And if it goes back down to 14, yeah, then you didn't pinch good. If it remains at 0, then you kind of did a good pinch and you could walk away. But man, I'm kind of scared with that theory, in my opinion. And then I've seen times where guys did the pinch and then broke off the pinch and then just applied a little bit of solder. I've seen it, but again, listen. This is being recorded. I could be held contempt in a court of law for the words that I'm using. So I want to be very careful with what I'm saying. I've been to ASTI. I've been to this manufacturer. They'll tell me one thing. I go across the next saloon, it's a different manufacturer. They tell me another. I attend and I get another. I get all these sorts of responses. But what I think everybody comes to one agreeing on is we have to leave the system hermetically sealed. And when you do a good seal on that bullet valve, you do a good center, and you put that cap on, those three measures of protocol should keep you safe. But that's not the only way to skin the cat. Any of that makes sense?
Thank you.
Well, gentlemen, it's been a 2 hour training, and it's been a little bit longer than anticipated, but I hope you found value in this. And thank you for watching. And if you have any final questions, I'm going to go enjoy my Saturday.
Thank you for your time, brother.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. Thank you, Brandon.
All right.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you,
Real-
Sensei.
All right. You guys take care and be safe out there.
Mhm.